Filming from GenCon 2013, here's Mark Arnaldo. I am with Toni Darling for Japanese Games, and she has kindly agreed to give us a short intro of the game Kanzume Goddess. Thank you, Toni.
Yes, thanks guys. Alright, so this is going to be a deck building game. It's not a collecting game. There's no special values or anything like that on cards. It's not like Magic. So it's pretty simple to play. If you've played Dominion, it's very similar to that. What you have here is basically you have your cash. Your cash is really your disciples. Your disciples have faith points. Now, faith points, basically the more faith your disciples have in you, the more warriors you can recruit to your cause as a god, okay? So you can combine faith points, and then of course, one of your other disciples is your defense card. Defense obviously is important for people who are attacking you. Right here you have all of your warriors. Your warriors have point values, or faith values as it were. You can use your faith to purchase a warrior. So your warriors, typically speaking, in one turn, your warriors can only be used once. However, there is a chaining procedure that you can use. For instance, this red card has a chain with blue and yellow, and in effect, it can be chained with this yellow card here. So obviously, as the game is played, there are strategic advantages to certain combinations. Now, the premise of the game is really that the Greek and the Norse gods are battling one another. So, Apollo, for instance, against Hell. So your two gods can win against one another in either of two ways. The first way is to kill one another and get their point value down to 0. Another way to win is to make an ascension in rank and get up to 25. Typically speaking, you start with an average health of 15, and then you play against one another, either decreasing or increasing your health. And your health is called energy in this game as far as terminology is concerned. Anything else that would be useful to know about the game?
What are your favorite things about this game?
So my favorite things about the game are that it's very simple to pick up. It's very similar to a lot of other games, and it does have some cute little quirks. Like any other card game, for example, you're going to have, you know, kind of your trash pile and then your deck. Well, when you pick a new card, you're going to put it actually on the top of your deck. Now that might seem counterintuitive at first, but really it gives you quite a good advantage. This game can be played with about up to 6 people. So sometimes that gives a strategic advantage that is needed because it's brutal. The other thing that I really like about this game is that it's very aggressive. If you're playing with 2 people, I mean, it can get really bloody really fast, and you could be down to 1 health and still end up tackling your opponent who has 10 in just 1 round because of all of the different connections that you can make.
So it is possible to have comebacks.
Yes, there's a lot of combat, and I love that. I'm an extremely aggressive player, and I guess that's what I really, really love about it, is that, you know, you can choose your tactics based on your god. For instance, we're doing a promo right now, which is why I'm here, with the god Thor, and my card as Thor is a very aggressive card. His special ability is Smash, and Smash gives you extra attacking value on top of an attack card that you're already playing. So for somebody like me who's a really aggressive player, I can knock people out pretty fast. Other cards, like Loki, really, really tricky. It actually, you know, without playing it, I guess it would be hard to understand, but Loki, you know, kind of makes every other god's life difficult. So not only, you know, is there a lot of strategy that you kind of have to develop as you're evolving throughout the game, but it's also kind of kin to the actual mythology. You know, Zeus is a really powerful god, Thor is a really aggressive, powerful god, Loki's a very tricky god, etc. So it's a good combination of good card playing, a lot of good combat techniques, and some really interesting mythology. My number 1 favorite thing about the game is the boobs. Not gonna lie, they're very pretty.
That's not part of the strategy, is it? I guess maybe a psychological deception.
It's something. It's something. I don't know. However you want to look at it, but the cards are very beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. So, yeah.
And your card is a promotional item. Is it going to be part of the regular set, or is it only for people at GenCon?
No, it's just for people at the conventions, not exclusive to GenCon. We'll do the promo at other conventions, but it's a good way to get people here. When people buy the card, I usually sign it, and then I will also give them another 2 attack value, which gives them a benefit over using it just as if you've gotten them in the actual deck itself. So.
All right, Toni, thank you for the explanation. I think it is time to play the game now.
Absolutely.
Hi, here's Mark Arnaud again, filming from GenCon 2013. I'm here with Toni Darling, who is a character in the game Kanzume Goddess, and also he's demoing the game GenCon 2013. Yesterday, Toni and I started playing a game of Kanzume, but then unfortunately the hall closed. It was that later in the day, and today, the following day, well, we're meeting up again to talk about the game. Incidentally, last night I did play a full game, and I have to tell you that this game is very good. I mean, this may just be one of the most fun games that I played at GenCon 2013. A couple of new things emerged, mechanics such as a chain mechanic. If you play Nightfall, you know what the chain mechanic is. It's just that in this game it is handled better. I don't know, have you ever played Nightfall, Toni?
No, but I'm familiar with it, so yeah, similar game mechanic.
Exactly, it seems like a mechanic, but it's just, it can get a little boring because it get a little too long. It kind of interrupts the game.
Yeah.
But in Kanzume, when you pull off a chain, it's much more fluid. It's part of the main turn. It's some awesome effect, but it doesn't really ruin the pace of the game.
No, not at all.
Yeah. What do you think about the pace of the game in general?
I like the pace of the game. I mean, once in a while, you know, you just draw bad cards, but for the most part, I like the pace of the game, and I like that you can set the pace of the game, because of course, you know, I mean, technically you're supposed to start at 15, but if you want to do a short game, like when I do demos, you can set it at 5, and that makes it a little more aggressive too, because you only have a few points to work with, and that can make for an exciting game. If you're working with 6 other people, you know, going to 15 can make it for a really long, interesting game in which you can develop a lot of strategy. So yeah. I like that you can kind of determine what pace you'd really like. And then of course, depending on your, I think the pace also really depends a little bit on what god you draw. When I'm with Thor, the pace of the game is always fast, because he's really aggressive, and so I can knock somebody out really quickly. But with a different card like Loki, it's a different kind of pace, you know? It's a little bit more strategic, I have to be a little bit trickier, so yeah, I like that it can vary.
Yeah, frankly, that was a good, that was a big selling point for me too. Last night we played an epic game, everybody started with 20. It took a while, but no one was bored really. It didn't. It was long, but it didn't feel long at all. Anyhow, thank you, Toni, for taking the time to sharing your ideas and opinions about Kanzume Goddess. Again, Kanzume Goddess, very good game, being presented right now at GenCon 2013. Thank you, Toni.
Thank you so much.